But the Queen's Crown tournament started, right? King of the Ring
Yes.
started, Queen's Crown started.
Hmm.
King of the Ring seems fine. All seems fine. Ish.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
I've got
exciting.
a few grievances about it already, to be
Yeah, I
honest.
mean, Jinder beating Kofi was not my favorite thing in the world.
Yay, we got another hack train.
Oh, I think it just ended. I
Oh
think
no,
we,
it ends.
yeah, but
Oh,
we completed level 1, so we got one emote. I think it's a dinosaur. That's pretty cool.
oh, I love dinosaurs. What kind of dinosaur?
I can't tell. It just has this mouth going, ah.
Ah,
Like,
okay, a good one,
a
a
good
chatty
one.
one.
Yep, exactly. A chatty dinosaur who's probably also annoyed that the Queen's Crown tournament is a pile of shit.
That's why he's raging. He's like, ah!
He's just like, what is this? And trust me, I understand the reason that they're doing a Queen's Crown tournament, even if they're going to treat it like a joke. But it's very frustrating for them to do a Queen's Crown tournament, be like, look, we're showing women, look, the finals are going to be in Saudi Arabia. Look how amazing we are. Look how progressive we are. Look how great we are as a wrestling company. And you give your women 3 minutes or less.
Don't I know this is the thing. It's like, and even some of like the kind of outcomes I was reading about, I was like, man, this is pure divas-esque. Like it just not let alone the time thing, because that seems like an absolute like riot, like
Mm-hmm.
of a thing to do, especially when you spend so much time and effort and publicity, explaining how much you are here for the women and you're doing this and you're doing that. And look, we're making a Queen's Crown tournament, to then totally backtrack on that by using like old kind of like ideas, old kind of like techniques and stories and
Mm-hmm.
like kind of gimmicks and stuff about it. It's just like, man, you've just totally no sold that, like
Like, I
the
would
whole
rather
thing.
not, I don't know, maybe this is controversial. I would rather not have a tournament than have the
Yeah,
tournament the way that it's going now.
yeah,
Because to say that you're promoting women's wrestling and to say that you're putting a focus on women's wrestling and that you really care about it so much for such disingenuous purposes and then treating it like a joke is incredibly frustrating to me as a fan of women's wrestling, right? Like,
yeah.
I understand why one of the matches was very short. I understand why Shayna Baszler versus Dana Brooke was very short. I love
That
Dana
makes
Brooke,
sense.
but Shayna Baszler's like a killer monster lady who's going to
Exactly.
break your arm, right? Like, that's her deal. And I think Shayna and Dana actually did some fun stuff in the 1 minute that they wrestled. Um,
1 minute. That's
1 minute,
awful.
yeah. It's dire right
How
now.
can
Like,
you
it's
do fun
so
stuff in one
frustrating.
minute? I don't even understand that. Like
They
the thing that
managed.
the thing that kind of got me was like the Tony Storm thing. This is
Yeah.
somebody that they've been like pushing, like somebody who was like absolutely killing it, a favorite in NXT when she came up. Like the reaction it got, it was amazing. And then they've just done like, and she's such a good character as well, and like.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, I mean, it goes without saying she's an amazing wrestler, but like that was apparently only like 3 minutes long, and it's like,
It was 2 minutes
what?
and
Like
13 seconds, according to
some
Denise
people's
Salcedo's tweet.
entrance, some people's entrances are longer than that. Come on,
It's
like
ridiculous
what?
because, especially, like, you bring back Zelina Vega, right? And she came back with some fanfare, and you thought, wow, Vega is back. That's a big deal because she left the company on not maybe the best terms
Mhm.
with her Twitch channel stuff and whatnot. So for them to bring her back was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I'm glad that she's back and maybe she'll do some stuff. I think she's a better manager than she is wrestler, but it doesn't mean that
Yep.
she's terrible at wrestling. And you put her against Tony Storm, who, like you said, just got brought up to the main roster, should be a big deal. Like, I am not as big a Tony Storm fan as everybody else seems to be, just in ring. I think she's a great character, and I think she has great presence about her. I would like to see what she can do on the main roster with these people we haven't seen her with. And they
Yeah.
get 2 minutes and 13 seconds between Zelina Vega and Tony Storm. Zelina Vega, who's lost every match since she's gotten back,
I
I
know.
believe. Like, I don't think she
Yeah.
had a singles win since she returned, and she just beat Tony Storm in about 2 minutes for reasons?
I
Question mark?
explain this. I know.
Like,
Explain this. It's just so bizarre. Like it just seems like I don't know. Like I just don't understand their thinking behind it. It's almost as if like, right, we're doing this. This is enough.
yeah.
Right. Like, do you know what I mean? As if like just the prospect of having like this women's tournament as part of like
No, it seems like they
King
want
of
to
the Ring
have
thing.
it without putting in any effort. It reminds me of when Stephanie McMahon created women's wrestling in 2015 and
I
brought
mean,
up all the
I
trios.
will. I will fight you on that because I did enjoy like the Stephanie McMahon era.
But
I
this is
did.
post Stephanie McMahon era. This was just like, these are like her dolls that she's going to play with, is my issue with it. And then they just put them all in teams, and then the teams just fought for nothing, for no reason, for
To be
months.
fair, that's something that we can also talk about like this week within WWE about the whole like let's put teams together for no reason like and all this like with the men, and it's like
It's
honestly I'm
so
just like
baffling. Like, I
what are
mean,
you up to?
Raw was the story of can they coexist, right? Like having Big E team with Drew in the main event, and then having was it Becky and Charlotte versus Bianca and Sasha, because it's like, oh, Bianca and Sasha are having an issue, and Becky and Charlotte are having an issue, and Becky and Charlotte are the champs, and can they coexist? I don't know. Of course they can't. They don't like each
No,
other. Like,
exactly.
and
I
that
know.
that kind of thing can be fun every once in a while. Like, I think it was done really well when they put Sheamus and Cesaro together, like after their Best of Five series, when it was like, you fought so hard and now you became a great tag team because you like forged respect, and can you, and like Team Hell No was, I would say, like a
Well, yeah,
prime
but
example of that kind of thing.
that's when it's good. Like when you can actually, it's a longevity story thing though.
Uh-huh.
That's when it's good. But none of these people are in a long-term tag story. I mean,
No.
I would even argue at the beginning of when like Shayna and Nia were tagging, like, I could get behind that a wee bit at the
It was
very
kind of a
beginning.
fun animosity
It was.
there.
I mean, it got very old very quickly, but it was, one of these things where it's just like, what that, like, I just don't understand it. Like, well, I do understand it. I understand it from a business perspective where they're just like, okay, we need to get all these people are on our Saudi show, so we need to get their faces out there more. But come on, like, especially if you're going to be throwing like a tournament match for people who are trying their damnedest to get
Mm-hmm.
out there. If you're going to be throwing that 2 minutes, 1 minute a pop, then I'm sure you can break up this and not have this kind of like mixed, like not mixed tag, but do you know what I mean? These kind of thrown together tag matches. Like it's such lazy, lazy booking, it feels like. And it's just like, what are you
Because
doing?
they're put
Like,
together with no story and no reason, right? Like, I still don't like Nikki and Rhea together. Like, I know that they're the
yeah.
champions and they're like the
Go
one
on.
women's tag team that exists. I don't like them together. I don't think they have great chemistry. I don't think they make sense. Maybe after months of this, I will change my mind and they'll win me over or something like that. But so far, I'm just like, I would rather see Nikki do something on her own. I would rather see Rhea do something on her own. And then the women's tag teams that did make sense, like Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Knox, for instance, who were a great tag team, even though it was kind of weird that like Shotzi and Ember
You
got
would take,
broken
yeah.
up, but like,
And
whatever.
yeah.
They were tag teams before in NXT, and now they're just broken up and on different brands. Like, what are you doing? What are you, like, having women on your show, if you treat them like flat paper dolls, does not make you progressive in terms of women's wrestling. That just makes you performative, and it really frustrates me. Like, I would rather not see it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. I just think it's lazy, and I think it's kind of like a really easy out because it's just like, look, we're showing more women, and it's like, cool. Like I could literally just sit and flick through, like pages of wrestlers and be like, cool, yeah, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
showing you all these women. Does not mean that I'm being progressive or I'm being like, standing up for something that people have clearly wanted for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It had such good expectations to like be a really good like pinpoint or like a not a pinpoint but like a spotlight on so many people,
Yeah.
and it's just completely done the opposite, especially when you've got people who are like already named big stars like
Mm-hmm.
within like the WWE universe's eyes getting thrown out within a minute or two. It's like, what are you playing
It
at?
just makes
Weird.
everyone feel like they're terrible. And I've seen some people say, well, these people aren't stars. There's no way that they deserve the spotlight or anything like that. But, like, I'm sorry. You gave a Jinder Mahal match 10 minutes on Raw, and you gave Zelina Vega and Tony Storm 2. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
No,
I would say
not at
Zelina
all.
Vega and Tony Storm are both very interesting characters. And if you want to create stars in your women's division, which you've done a piss poor job of on the main roster recently, then, like, you need to actually do it. You need to actually put in the time. You need to actually let them show what they can do. And if they can't do anything, why are you hiring them for the main roster of your wrestling
Exactly.
program when there are so many talented women out there who kill it? Like,
Exactly.
flames on the
It's
side of my face, I tell you.